Hello everyone, good morning. I just woke up and today is Monday, April 3rd, I want to say. April 3rd. Um, so today's check-in. I am coaching myself through this prep, but I had signed up for Layne Norton's Avatar Nutrition, which is super great. It kind of helps me, a little peace of mind. But I keep my own measurements. I keep my own everything. So what I do is, well, for Avatar, there's a check-in every Monday. You weigh in and you give your body fat percentage or whatever, and then it tells you where to go from there in regards to changing your macros and stuff. And it was really weird. I had just had a diet break. Let me show you guys on my calendar. Okay, this is my calendar. I just got it, as you can tell. This is the end of March. Kira, does anybody have a cat? If anybody has a cat, you know exactly how this goes. Okay, Kira. I love you so much, but I have to take this. Kira. Stop it. Thank you. Anyway, the week of the 13th through the 19th, I had a 7-day diet break. In a different video, hopefully, I can explain what a diet break is, cut it down a little bit. I started writing down my weight on my calendar. I left from home and then came to San Antonio that day. And then came home from San Antonio this day, weighed myself in the afternoon at 120.2. This day and this day were... I kind of overate, didn't track my macros, so set me back a little bit. That's why I came back a little bit heavier at 120.2, 120.2, 118, 118, 118.4. And then this was last week. So with Avatar Nutrition, I weigh myself every day and then get the average weight for that week, because weights fluctuate from day to day. It's not really consistent. So the easiest way to ensure that I am giving Avatar Nutrition the proper information is to weigh myself every day of the week and then get the average weight for that. So the average weight for here was, I want to say here, 119.2. And then before that was 118.2. So the week of the 27th, check-in week, that was 119. And then I dropped 2 pounds on Monday straight off the bat. 117.6, 117.2. From Tuesday to Wednesday, I dropped another 2 pounds. I was at 115. Thursday 115, Friday 115.6, and then Saturday 115.4. I had my refeed this day, and then 115.2. So it was all around 115. I dropped 117 to 115. So when I weighed myself, my average weight was 115.9. So it went from 119.2 to 115.9. I hope y'all followed along with that. But so what I saw was a drastic decrease in weight, and as good as that sounds, it's kind of not, because in my previous one of my macros videos, I keep talking about how important it is to retain your lean body mass, because when you drop weight too quickly, or you're in a deep caloric deficit, you're gonna lose that lean body mass, and it's just not gonna be the greatest. You want to maintain some muscle that you tried so hard to develop on your off season. I haven't had a proper off season. I've kind of just eaten my way back out of a show, so I'm excited to see what I can do with that. So I lost too much weight. Some of that might be fat, some of that might be lean body mass. So this week my macros are going up a little bit, and I'm kind of excited because it was getting hard to eat low carb all the time. I mean, it's not that much of a difference, but it's a little bit up there, so I'm excited about that. I'll just make a video on how I'm tracking right now. What's really cool about Avatar Nutrition, it's $9.99 a month, literally not even $10, $9.99. I mean, if that cents counts, right? Here they give you an option to get high to low days. And I used to have only one high day, which was my refeed day. And when you're coaching yourself... Okay, this isn't a learning experience for me, but I've come to find when you're coaching yourself, or when you're coaching in general, everybody is different, and coaches just know what to try, or kind of have a good guess on what to try, to see what works for you. And some things might include having super, super low days and high, high refeed days, or one refeed day or two refeed days back to back, split up. And they kind of just go from there and go from how you feel and your progress pictures and all that stuff. Mind you, I've never had a coach, but I like to pay attention. I like to pay attention to those things. So it's all a matter of trial and error when coaching. But it's also, they also have a lot of information on how to do that, a lot of insight or reasons why they chose to do what they did. So with me right now, I'm going to experiment a little bit with my body and see what works for me, see what doesn't. And I've recently tried just one refeed day out of the week. I'm going to try this week to do 2 refeeds, but on separate time spans. So I'm thinking of having them spread out. I'm thinking of having a high day on Wednesday and a high day on Saturday. And then it has a little slider here where you can adjust how high you want your high days or how low you want them, or whatever. And then that matters too, like how high your high days are, how low your low days are, depending on how your body reacts. But I'm not trying to have my low days that low, so I don't know what I want my numbers to be at this moment. So again, with coaching myself, look, my cat, she can't meow. That little noise is her. She wants to get the birds. Anyway, okay, so with coaching myself, I have to put in a lot of data, right? That's what coaches provide you. That's what anybody can provide you. Trainers, coaches, consultants, whatever. They provide that accountability for you, and they take the guesswork out of trying to figure all this out yourself. It's kind of hard, but I like it. I really, really, really like to learn about this stuff, and I can't wait to implement it on other people. But if you can't afford a coach or anything, this is some way you can go about it, because this is what I'm doing. But there's always going to be a benefit in coaching. That's why I have no problem wanting to coach other people or wanting to get coached eventually. I used to be like, nah, I can do it myself, but there's no way. Even the best have another eye to help them out, because once things get tough, you kind of just don't think the same. You don't think objectively, so you need someone else there. Okay, anyway, so this is what I'm doing. Keep track of my measurements. Look at this. So great, right? Let's see if I can turn it this way. All right. So I got this off of rippedbody.com. He has a wonderful article on how to track progress, and it's super, super great. Measurements. All these measurements I take every week, and it's really great to look at it in an objective standpoint. So here, he also mentions to measure in centimeters, because in inches it's kind of broad, and with centimeters you can kind of see a small change, if anything. And these are some examples. It tells you to rate your macro adherence and training adherence, and in the article it explains, how to rate it for the most part, and kind of not just go by what you think you did. Training, sleep issues, stress issues, hunger issues, and fatigue, lethargy, because these all play a factor in how you're going to perform and how your body's going to react, because your body is a very smart machine, very smart temple that we live in, and it reacts to anything and everything we do. If you have some sleep issues, rest issues, it's not going to recover as well. If you have some stress issues, your cortisol levels are going to go up. Talk to y'all here. If you have stress issues, your cortisol levels are going to go up. You might see retention in water. You might not see the scale drop, and then that's going to stress you out even more. So you want to make sure we're keeping, or we are, right? whatever because this is what I'm doing. This is me. I'm talking to you guys. Want to make sure what we're doing is good. It's keeping us happy, keeping us progressing. Your health is important. It should be important to coaches. So if you're incredibly hungry, that's not going to be a good sign. Something's going on there. So you got to keep track of that. Fatigue, lethargy, energy. If you're feeling very fatigued all the time, that's not a good sign. You probably need some more energy, or maybe space out your macros in a different way that can help you out. Um, and then it tells you to keep track of your lifting, which I've done sort of for the most part. So squat, deadlift, bench press, row, and overhead press. These are the lifts that he gave in this tracker, but I have different lifts I should probably input in there. These are just the compound movements, the big ones that you want to keep an eye on. Here's an example that he provided: progressing, feel recovered. So what that helps out with is showing your progress in the gym, how you're responding to the diet, if it's giving you energy, if everything's going well, if everything's not going well. Um, some people who are progressing, they feel freaking awesome in the gym. They're hitting PRs, they're doing whatever they are, and they want to still decrease their calories. It's all about communication, how you're feeling, because a good coach is going to take into consideration how your body's reacting, how you're reacting mentally, physically, all that good stuff. If you're not progressing in the gym, it may be a sign that you need a deload week. And people don't really know about deloads or anything like that, but that tends to happen when you're going all out and you're making progress, and then you kind of just stall and you're not progressing, you're not recovering, something's going on. It might be a time to take a deload week, take a diet break, something of that nature, and then that can break the plateau in whether you're in your weight loss or your training. So that's also very important to keep track of, and that's what I've learned so far. So that's what I'm doing, keeping track of my training progress. I also have an app that keeps track of my volume and all that stuff. So that's really cool. Of course, if you haven't seen my Instagram, or if you don't follow me there, I do take progress pictures from time to time. Dang it, I need to. And I just compare them from the weeks. This is like the first week. This is the first week. This is fourth. This is week 4, and he tells you assess your progress this week, and then assess your progress every 2 weeks from there to see where you're going. So that's mine, and then I need to input. This was my diet break. Then I need to input my photos today, and that's where I'm at. But it's really, really cool to keep data and keep track of your progress in some way, shape, or form that you can see and that is not in your head. So calendar for my weight. Again, guys, weight isn't important, but if you want to keep track, it's a really great way to keep track of your weight, because every day, as you can tell, has been different, and it's not always going to be the same. And then this morning I woke up at what? I woke up at 1:16. I gotta put it here, but I woke up at 1:16, so we'll see how this week goes. I start off my leg day with just stretching. I used to do this in powerlifting all the time, so it kind of just stuck with me. I don't think you need to stretch thoroughly, especially before a workout. But it's just something I like to do. It makes me feel comfortable. This might look funny, but do this just to open up my hips a little bit, get some movement going for my range of motion. These are leg swings. Again, to open up your hip a little bit more, get ready for those squats that are about to commence. I have yet to get some bands for this warm-up, but if I did, I would put it around my ankles or knees for some extra tension. But since I don't have those, I'll make do with what I have, or don't. Okay, this is my first set of squats. I didn't record any of my warm-ups. I want you all to take note of the two-step process. I take 2 steps to come out and then get set. Okay, I slowed this down a little bit so I can go through the squat with you. In the first part, I take a deep breath, brace my core, come down, keep my center of gravity aligned all the way through my midfoot. So you'll notice my shoulder, torso area would be in a straight line with my midfoot. Keep my hips back, and when I come up, I bring my hips forward. That was the only set I got to record, but I will do another one for you in another video, hopefully. And now we move on to deadlifts. I like to pick my arms up to remind myself to keep my shoulders back and not hunch them forward, which is very important. And I slowed it down here so you can see me bracing myself. I try to engage my lats in the first few breaths. You don't have to sit back too much and pretend like your heels are driving off the ground instead of using your upper body to pick up the weight. And of course, keeping your back and core tight as well. After that first initial lift, the rest of the reps seem a little bit easier once you're stable. If you notice me blowing on my hands, it's because my hand's starting to slip and I don't have any grips or anything. Anyway, here I am bracing myself again, my lats, my back, driving through with my heels and repping that out. And here my hand starts to slip. Look at it. And you see my little dang it at the end of my rep. No worries. I just continue on with my sets and try to make my grip stronger. Get the reps down again, bracing myself. And up we go. 1, 2, 3, pew. And there it is again. But oh well. Time to move on. I switched out my traditional leg extensions for some plyometric work today. Some box jumps. My legs, I'm very quad dominant, so I need something to bring my legs down, and I've heard that plyometrics work, but I need to do some more research on that to actually speak confidently about it, or I can just do them now and see how it works for me. And next I'm doing what I would call straight-legged deadlifts. We used to call it that in powerlifting. I'm not really sure what the proper term is. It's basically just another version of a hip hinge. You bend at the hip using your posterior chain, your hamstrings, your glutes to bring the weight up. Here's a different angle. It's really hard for me not to use my arms when I'm using a free weight barbell sort of deal. So I wanted more attention on my glutes and hamstrings, so I switched over to cables, a cable version. Same version, same hip hinge, but this version really allowed me to use more of my hamstrings and glutes instead of using my arms to pull up the weight. So this is another version if you're having that problem. And that wraps up my leg day. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment if you liked it.